Okay, so we are in on page Tesam Rav in the manuscript, page 18 in the PDF. Uh, Al tiyi tiekepesa gola shemachnis es a ruach. This is interesting because it's the first time there's a direct statement to the reader. Now, oh no, it's not. We have it before. Never mind. Al tiekeno pesa godol b'shemachnis es a ruach look pesa godol shemegabel es ha'ikarim. Don't be like a large opening which lets the wind in, and not like a small opening which limits the precious ones. Okay, so let's see over here. Al tihi kepesa kodol pasov tamich machnisas aruach b'tzacho af shelo l'rtzono. And a large opening lets the wind in even when it's not a good thing. Kain lo you as nechab suchos tamid. Your eyes, your ears should not always be open. Shechlesman divrei batola, that they will allow in words of naught, sichlus and frivolous words. B'li kavanas chali shma cloud, even though you don't want to really hear them. Kain lo tiach pesach katan. Ashel kono ein yochol nosba filu devarim haruiyim lachnis. Don't be so small that you won't let in things which are appropriate to put in. Zeu shemegabel menabel. I said megabel. I read the text. That was a mistake. Yes, I said megabel. It's shemenabel. Shemenabel means it makes repulsive, right? Shemenabel umam east varim ha'ikarim shelo lachnis, which makes repulsive and disgusting things are precious, to not allow them in. Kilo tetom as oznecha mishmo lishma divrei chachma. Do not close your ears from hearing wise matters. Okay. Let's see what he says here in the Orchos Chaim. That's not it. This is inside. It's in the bottom. I know. Test sign. Test sign. Good sign. Test sign was where?
There it is.
Ezra. Vayavi Ezra HaKohen es HaTorah L'fnei HaKol Me'ish Ad Isha L'chol Mevin Lishma. Okay, he brought before men from man to woman, and everybody who understands to listen. So the question obviously is, are these three different categories? Man, woman, understanding. Shevi Esas HaTorah L'fnei HaKol Sheyesh B'hem Me'ish Ad Isha Asher HaMinim, the types, Asher Hazem Psuchos K'Pesach Gadol Lishma HaKol. There are people who are listening, who are like big ears, and they hear everything without letting anything penetrate. They, I think it's they hear but do not listen.
Okay.
Many people come to a drasha or to a shir to hear, and they don't listen. Many people, that's usually not people who come deliberately to a drasha. People are in shul in the morning at the time of the drasha. And it's when komevin lishma nashim lishma chachamim abilti shomim hakol rak shemebinim shoroi lishmoa. Okay, they are like people who don't hear everything, only things which they understand that they're supposed to hear. But I guess the people who hear too much, and the people who only hear what's appropriate, and they can even listen to speakers who are not necessarily completely and totally precise, accurate, or correct, and draw out of them what they should draw out of them, and not what they should not draw out of them.
Okay.
Eel says, "Hen koras einai shama as niva tavinla, kol masher isiv shamati." Everything I saw and heard. It wasn't focused. Listening and hearing. Can we spot a boarim like the fools? I understood the Kavanas Sharoy Liros Lishma Shamati Isi. So people who take in too much are also flawed. One has to take in what one's supposed to take in, and one can't be a person who takes into everything one hears, even if one is listening to everything, right? Then that's not necessarily good enough. One has to be a discerning listener. Okay. Rabbi says, "Lo shamu v'lo yitu oznam." Shelo shamu davar b'shmiya bilti mechomeres. Didn't hear what I said in an unfocused way. V'lo yitu oznam l'avin shera'ui lishmoa dvarai. They didn't, nor did they incline their ears, which is obviously much closer to understand to understand what they should be listening to. So the two levels of listening, one of which is more passive and one which is more active in terms of determining what is supposed to be the way to what to take in and what to take out, not to take out. Okay, so I think we can skip the next one. The similar idea from Yeshayahu. Let's go down to Yud Zayin here. Did we do Yud Zayin in the? No, we didn't do it yet. Okay, so let's go back to the text. Be like the lowest rung, the lowest threshold, threshold at the bottom of the door. Shakol doshim ba, where everybody steps on. And like a low peg. Shakol tolim ba, on which everybody can hang their stuff. If you reflect it in your money, schor Eov. Remember Eov, shalakam mano, uvugufo, who was afflicted by in his money and in his body. Vilakisa. So always remember things can be worse.
Right.
If you got damage in your monetarily, remember you could have got damaged physically. If you got it damaged physically, the schar doesn't baviram. Sheyar the chaim sholah could be even worse. You can go down alive down into the pit. Okay, so let's go and see what Derech Chaim says on this. Hey avachule, ina chesed. Lasosim also do chesed with another person. Bachas meilas in one of these things. Either your friend is going to have a no, you're going to lose, but it's or something which your friend is going to get benefit and you won't lose. So it's telling you don't just do things where you don't lose. Even when you're going to lose as a result, you're going to get stepped on, right? Which is a very unpopular philosophy in our day and age. And I'm talking about for myself as well as anybody else. Nobody likes being a friar, right? There's no equivalent English word to friar. It's only a uniquely modern Hebrew word because I think in Israeli culture, it's an even greater fear of being the guy who stepped on, the guy who loses out, the friar, right? Do you think an equivalent English term?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So you say that a person by his characteristic sense of self does not want to be a skopani dresses. He doesn't want to be in a case where zen enev humafsid, right? It's willing to tolerate being diminished and anguish from the benefit which the people who step on it have, right? Like a peg which is low to the ground. That's the other case. The peg doesn't get diminished. Okay? But other people can use it and the peg remains the peg. But you have to be willing to do both. I'm a little bit skeptical. It should be the other way around. In other words, the phrasing of the brisa should be, you should be like a peg and you should even be like an escopa. The way it says here, but it's like saying, be an escopa and of course be a yated. Okay? But in any event, it's possible, the non-interpretation, leading on into the next piece, right? Guf and mamon. We're talking about the shortcoming in guf and mamon. Here, can be advantage in guf and mamon. People step on it in order to benefit themselves. In other words, their movements are benefited by going on that skopa. The peg they don't use for their bodily movements, but for their possessions, to hang their possessions on them.
Right.
And the first shot is not linked to the next mimer. The second shot is linked to the next mimer. Okay, so let's go to the line here. Tavelio, Laskoba Tachtona Shakol Tashimba. Ulakora, like a beam. I'm not sure what this beam is. Normally the kora is the lintel. But Shakol Vrinolel. There he passes, but he passes on it. The Kilon Shakol Yoshim Betzilo. Okay, here are a lot more descriptions. Like a tree, everybody sits in the shade. Uchener, like a candle, Shumer Einayim, or a beam which illuminates for many people. Okay, so much more elaborate than we have here, although it doesn't have, seems not to have the atade. Daket, what?
Nothing.
Daket the way in which to do good unto others. It's in one of these four ways. Shrabim Nanim Mituvo, people have the masses benefit from his goodness. Without his putting in an effort to deliberately be made for him. It just comes automatically. I would say Ner Echod Ner Lameo. You need a count for same count, so one stays for 100. So you don't necessarily have intent of being made. You'll just, it happens automatically. For himself, he didn't have any better than. So the dvarim shuim shol aleim. There's things, sometimes you benefit others in things in which you rule over them. In other words, you're a benevolent ruler, a benevolent benefactor. You learn how to make sale like a tree which provides shade and coverage. Everybody sits in its shade, and he is over them. Like a rabbi or a good leader who protects his people from above, right? Those who do good to others and allowing others to rule over him, also like a rabbi situation. But only when he doesn't get from them any pain or anguish. When they rule over him. So obviously the beam is like the threshold, except since it's high, people don't step on it, but people step over it. So it itself does not suffer harm. Even when it hurts him. And that is this guy who's kaskopani dresses for the person who is suffering from the many people who step on it. So the bottom line is that what it's telling here is that which Chazal tells all over the place is this appears in many places in Chazal that you're supposed to even, there are many ways of being meitiv achim. And maybe you'll be zoiche, that your way of being meitiv achim is like the candle, or like the tree, or like the korah. But you have to be willing to be askopani dresses. You have to be willing even to lose out, so to speak, to undergo pain and anguish in order to be meitiv to others. Okay. Now going back to Derech, which is still in this piece. There are two ways in which you do good to others. Either to submit oneself, like we just said, for anything they require, or to be courageous and uplift one's spirit to stand in the breach. That's a submissive spirit. This is like, he's like the peg. I'm not sure I get that exact muscle. What's sticking in my mind is like the little Dutch boy who stuck his finger in the dike in order to the water shouldn't come out. And he was obviously saving people that way. So you peg up a hole. but it's still equals a not bad smoke. He say that mucha. You still be humble in your eyes, like a low peg. Okay, I like the first instructing better. This one is not so appealing to me. Okay, Chav Gimel v'Agdama l'Tilim B'Yarnu. Inyan Hashevach she'adam chayav l'shabeach hara asher karo. Well, it says Kishem shebarachim al-tov kach mevarchim al-hara. So what's the bracha make al-hara? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we know the bracha is Tayara MS, but what's the meaning of the bracha? So he says the what's he called again? The Derech contends that is Mashalo Sifa Rola Vola B'Yeser says it could have been worse, right? So the bracha is okay. It was only Ad Kan, not more. Mm-hmm. So if you got afflicted in your money, to say Shevach Mashalo Kisa Gambucha. At least can praise you didn't get afflicted in your body. Ki Eov, like Eov did. Have you got afflicted with your body? You're not gonna go down to the bottom to the depths of the pit like us in an Avira. Okay.
Okay. I think I want to stop here because I need to stop.
Okay, fine.
All right. It's a little shorter than usual. I apologize.
That's okay. All right. It was good stuff, though. So.
Shkoyach.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Bye.